Good evening, everyone. My name is Jefferson Fainango. In this occasion, I'm going to start with my presentation about the language testing, and next I'm going to answer the following questions. But first, I'm going to talk about what is the learning methodology. Okay, learning methodology refers to techniques that are used during the teaching and learning progress. As Tosun Wuglu mentions, there are several reasons for the teaching progress, and one of them is the evaluation that helps determine the number of students who have managed to meet learning objectives. Okay, I'm going to start with the first question, is to refer how is language assessment different from language teaching? Okay, this definition is very easy because a difference between evaluation and test is that the evaluations within the field of education allows to determine the performance of the students when answering questions of the subject that is being treated. This is in order to improve the learning of the students, while the test is focused more in examining knowledge about something to determine what the person knows or has learned, and it's very important. These two terms may look similar, but they actually have their own definition. Okay, next question is, why does language assessment help improve teaching and learning? Okay, language assessment refers to the systematic progress of evaluating and measuring data and information collected through oral and writing tests about students' language knowledge, comprehension, and ability in order to enhance their language learning and development. And Chamorro mentions formative evaluation, also known as evaluation for learning, offers a different context of evaluation because it allows the collection of complete data, not only of the result, but also of the progress in order to obtain a complete picture of the competence. Okay, I'm going to focus in this part because assist three important access that character is for formative assessment. First is the continuous assessment, is to refer is developed during the learning progress through various assessment activities focusing on strengthening learning, remedying difficulties, and preparing the student to use the language in various contexts. And the second is the self-assessment, is the progress by which the student makes a critical introspection of the weakness and strengths of it in the learning progress, and the students make an assessment of knowledge, skills, values, and attitudes. The third is the feedback, is the information provided to learners on whether or not the production and interpretation of language is inadequate. And okay, the next question is, why do you use language assessment? Okay, the evaluation of achievement implies the degree to which the specific objectives of the teaching, learning, progress of the language have been achieved. In other words, it is the evaluation that assesses everything that has been learned during a certain period of time. It allows teachers to collect continuous and relevant information about the teaching learning progress and then provide feedback to students, emphasizing the strengths and weaknesses of the progress to improve technicals and learning. Okay, continuous evaluation is integrated into the learning progress through evaluation tasks, correct Our stroke, of course, was interesting to remedy difficulties, strength learning, and prepare the students for when they need to display their communicate competence. Okay, and the third and the last question is to refer what evidence we need to collect during the assessment. Okay, in this part I'm going to talk about three parts. I want to start with a comprehensive understanding. Is to refer um, is to refer this evaluation criterion is a general nature, and this objective is to carry out a diagnostic test. It is mainly used the placement test and the beginning of a course when we need to know the difference in ability and competence of the students. Okay, the next is the pronoun. Is the listening oral comprehension is according to the CEFR criteria. Listening comprehension includes understanding of both live and face-to-face communication, as well as remote and or recorded communication. And the last is the pronunciation in context. The criterion is a little more complex when evaluating because unlike other skills such as writing, where there are cleaner grammatical rules, pronunciation depends on the social cultural context. And okay, in this part, in the first place, we must know the level of knowledge that the student has, since with this we can show if the student is learning, and if not, use various evaluation techniques and instruments in order to specify the obtaining of information, the learning objectives, the evaluation criteria, and results. Okay, and this is finally part of my presentation. Is the inform I can obtain information for my presentation in these bibliographies for make this presentation. Okay, and this is all of my presentation. Thank you for watching the video. Goodbye.